All right, another video. Okay, so third video in our series here with quantitative data and numbers. So this one looking at the 5-point summary and box plots. So I'm going to import my data set that I used in the last video. Okay, so I'm going to have that here. And we're going to talk about what is a 5-point summary. So a 5-point summary is 5 numbers describing our data set. Now, it's not going to tell the whole picture, it's just 5 numbers. We'll use those 5 numbers to help kind of sketch out a picture of what this distribution looks like. So, our 5-point summary is composed of the following numbers: our minimum value, our quartile 1 number, the median, our third quartile number, and finally, our max value. So, really, we're kind of reporting is the quartiles to this distribution. So, first things first, our data set should be in order. How lucky for us, this is a stem and leaf plot. It's already nicely arranged in order. So getting the min, the max, the median, all that, it's already in order. So the minimum value, according to this data set, 5. The maximum number, 85. So Q1, the median, and Q3, I can calculate those. And I did that in the last video. So I'm just going to bring those numbers over. So if you need to see how I got numbers, please refer back to the previous video where I did quartiles and percentiles, how I calculate. So this is our 5-point summary. Okay, great. What am I supposed to do with this? How does this help me describe what is going on? So these numbers we can then use to create a box plot, or what's sometimes known as a box and whiskers plot. So how do I construct box and whiskers plot? Well, glad you asked. Let's first start by drawing a number line. Okay. So our number line are ends of the graph, or the end of the number line, are going to be our minimum and our maximum value. 5 can be. So when I have those numbers laid out, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I scale this number line before I start putting down the number. I want to, because once we put down these middle numbers, that's going to be the box. And I want to make sure that it's scaled properly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm going to go by tens. Okay. So I'm going to say 5, 15, and I'm counting little dots here. 25. 5. I'm taking my time, just comes out looking nice. Brush job. Down our number. 65. 75. You can see really I should make it a little. Okay, so nicely, evenly scaled. Okay. Could have decided to pick a different scale, up to you. I just did it by 10. Okay. Now I'm going to go and say, all right, my Q1 is at 50. My Q3 is at 42.5. So that's going to be somewhere around. So I'm going to label it for right now. We don't have to label it when we make it. I'm just labeling it. Make it cool. So, and then the median is at 22.5. So 5 will say. Okay. So what I'm going to do with those 3 lines that I just made right now is connect Q1 and Q2 together. Kind of see my box. Okay. Now, make it clearer. Erase in the middle. You wouldn't erase. Just you can kind of see, hopefully, box. Okay. The box. And then the whiskers would be here, outline all. So let me highlight it with different color. So clear. Box. So now that it's constructed, you can kind of see this box represents that middle 50%. So now these numbers help to kind of guide us in how to describe data set. If you look, if this is where the middle 50% is, look at how long this end is over here. So if I had to start describing this data set, to me, it looks more like something like this. The lump of people, that middle 50% is between 50 and 42 and a half. There really isn't, if this were more spread out between the 5 and the 85, then this box would have been much further along. It would have taken up 50% of the line. And it didn't. It's kind of crammed in here, in this smaller area. And I can see, because again, this space represents 5% of this space represents 25% of the population. You can see 25% of the population is really crammed between 15 and 22.5, which you see here in our stem and leaf plot. I'm getting a chunk of the numbers. That's what this is telling you. They are tightly together. The spread is not a lot there. Here, it starts to spread out more, which is what we're seeing here. There's more space being done. Then there's a big fat nothing, which is what I'm starting to see as I get towards 5. So this helps to kind of take away the numbers and kind of help us make a picture of it and be able to talk about it a little bit more abstractly versus being inundated with the numbers and really not seeing it. It was like this, the 5-point summary. You really couldn't have said this conclusion just by staring at these numbers. It takes us putting it in a picture, kind of make that point come across and really, like hit it home. So that's what it is to make that box and whiskers plot using stem plot or even the raw